live, laugh.
How's it going, everybody? It always feels weird to say, like
This is a great start.
do they
hilarious.
care who we
Just
are?
apologizing right off the bat.
Yeah.
So, by the way, you're listening to a podcast.
Yes, this is a pod. This is not a mental breakdown yet.
Yeah.
It could be. We don't know. But we are joined today by Kaitlyn Marie. Do you have like what is your like one sentence like?
What's going on that T-shirt?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Kaitlyn Marie right there. So my not my catch line, just what I own is the biggest, baddest chick in the game. You can put instead of chick the B word, but I don't know how PG we're supposed to keep this today, so I am going to try to.
Yeah, no
I can say it.
To this. Yeah.
Oh, the biggest, baddest bitch in the game, Kaitlyn Marie. You already know by my T-shirt. Okay, that was all.
Awesome. That's great.
Yes, that is a good. That was what we were gonna be our tagline.
Yeah,
we saw that you were using it. And we were like, we can't use that.
We can fight for it. I technically don't hold that title right now. I lost it in a match, but like minor details. Minor details.
We can wrestling's. I don't know. Spoiler alert, but
all we gotta do is put you in a new territory. Doesn't even matter.
Exactly. Yeah. Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're excited to talk with you. Where can the people find you? Where can they get that T-shirt that you're wearing?
So all my social media is exactly the same. It's Kaitlyn Marie Pro. Kaitlyn spelled Kaitlyn, the proper way to spell Kaitlyn. Kaitlyn Marie Pro on everything. And then my merchandise that's seen here, you can find on my Big Cartel site, which is on my social medias. So click that stuff.
And if your name is Kaitlyn with a C, you got fuck
loser.
right off.
Loser.
Your parents did not love you.
Hate you. They hate you. You're a mistake. I'm sorry.
It's true.
Somewhere there's a Kayla with the seed that's like, this is the last time I'm listening to this podcast.
Yeah. She's like, first she said the B word, then she said Kaitlyn with the C. Oh, I'm done. I'm out of here.
I love that Kaitlyn with the C is also a prude. That's everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, I would like to put out there, let's get you a beer sponsorship.
Yeah, sponsor me, beer companies. I drink so much of it that at this point I'm probably 90% beer. So like, why not just give it to me for free?
Yeah.
Why? Like, what are you losing giving it to me? I'll even drink it in my matches. Preferably after, because wrestling after chugging beer is real hard. But if I have to, I'll do it. If that's part of the deal.
If that's what it takes to seal this deal.
If that's all it takes, I'll chug it.
Yeah. John Moxley got a deal with a non-alcoholic beer from a podcast. We're not as big as his wife's podcast, but
not yet. But after this episode,
episode drops,
boom.
So we're known for our serious journalism here, and I'm going to start off with
hard-hitting questions.
Hard-hitting questions. You walk into, let's say, the Raleigh Beer Garden, some place where you can get any beer you want. What are you ordering and why?
Okay. So there's this beer that I really like. It's from Cabarrus Brewing Company, something like it's Cabarrus something. And they have a vanilla blonde, and it is so good. And I don't even like coffee. I hate the flavor of coffee. It's disgusting. But that beer makes me okay with it. And if it makes me okay with it, that means it must be like really good because I hate coffee.
Okay.
So if you're in the like North Carolina area, check out Cabarrus Brewing. I think it's in near Concord, I believe. So check it out.
Right? Yeah. Somewhere with the C.
Or Cabarrus Brewing, you could sponsor me.
Yeah, you could.
I mean, local talent. Okay, that's all. Just marketing out here.
Follow-up question. What is the beer you're going to go to when you're just like, I've had a bad day and I need to forget about it?
So I hate to say it, but I'm like a basic bitch. Like, I honestly, my sad girl beer is just Mick Ultra because, like, I don't want to be,
no.
It's just my sad girl beer. I'm not sad right now. It's just still there in my fridge.
It's
not. Yeah, you guys are like, oh no, what's going on? It's just my go-to. I know I like it, and it doesn't make me feel as bad about chugging it. Where if I drink a heavier beer, I'm like, ugh, all day, and that's no fun.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of shit for PBR recently. I guess it's just like if I go to a bar,
floats your boat.
Yeah, first off, PBR, like safe bet it's gonna be the cheapest beer.
Always. It's always on special. It's always.
Yeah. So I'm just like, I want to go and get the cheapest beer. I'm gonna have 3 of them, and it's gonna be fine. Like I'm not here for like a.
I'm gonna get all three at one time.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, we're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. You might
Oh,
be
yeah.
yours. And if you don't drink, that's fine too. Don't ever feel pressured. Okay. Boom.
I bet Caitlyn with a C
I'm
doesn't
bringing
drink.
depth in this.
Oh, Caitlyn with a C definitely doesn't. Oh, she definitely drinks, but she judges other people for drinking as she's also drinking. So fuck you, Caitlyn with a C.
Yeah, you wine drinking bitch.
You little puta. We hate you here.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Caitlyn's with the C either. What about you, Christian? What if?
Yeah.
What if
is it Christian with the C or Christian with the K?
It's with a C, but I own the C. Okay, I don't let the C define me.
Okay, I see what you did there.
Yeah. We also didn't say that. My wife's name is Caitlyn with a C.
Is your wife's name Caitlyn with a C?
Yeah. So.
I said what I said.
We take nothing back.
Said what I said, Caitlyn with a C. It's just as annoying as like Caleb with a K. It's just the other way. Yeah. And I don't dislike Caleb. I mean, he's like a Ken doll if I've ever seen one. But it's just weird. You know, it's just weird.
Yeah, I agree.
He understood and he changed his. That's how big of like a revelation he had that he made it a point to say Caleb with a K.
Yeah.
After the spelling had a K. So everybody, if your name starts with a C,
is problematic.
Change it.
Yeah. Christian.
Yeah, I'm
gonna take him down to the courthouse tomorrow.
Yeah.
Good.
We'll be good. We'll be good.
Awesome.
This
is a wrestling podcast.
But Christian, of it being a wrestling podcast.
Christian, do you have a beer that you would drink?
Yeah, what's your beer? You're part of this party too, brother.
Okay. It's hard to get here. I like anything Abita, but that's a Louisiana beer.
Ooh,
but that's
Purple Haze.
From Purple Haze is great. Abita Strawberry is awesome. Here, like I'm really simple and like a Blue Moon on draft with an orange.
It's good.
Every day.
Okay.
Nice chef top, lighted kugel on a nice hot day. Yeah.
Okay, I accept that answer.
Mango Cart is great. Like I like Mango Cart pretty good.
I'm out of the loop on that. Is that new?
It's not everywhere, so I guess so.
Yeah. For some reason, for me, I wasn't able to drink beer like without throwing up until I was like 23.
Oh, you poor thing.
I was.
So you hit puberty at 23.
Yeah, it was a little late.
Yeah, a late bloomer. Nothing wrong with that.
That's why I have the mustache. I got to make up for lost time.
It's probably not even real.
It's the perfect disguise.
Hold on, Christian.
They'll never know when I take this off.
Christian, you said nobody could tell, dude.
It's just a little crooked.
Yeah. What the fuck was I talking about?
Okay, so this is a wrestling podcast. Speaking of wrestling,
that's what we do, right? Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
What is your earliest memory of wrestling?
So my earliest is also like my first memory of wrestling was I was younger. I don't remember what age, but definitely a single digit.
Yeah.
And I was, sitting at home flipping through the television, and I remember seeing Trish Stratus on my screen, and praise that woman. She was just like, I stopped, and I knew nothing about wrestling. I think she was definitely cutting a promo. She wasn't wrestling, but she was just talking. And I remember just the energy she gave off, the bad bitch energy. I was just like, I'm going to be Trish Stratus.
Yeah.
And then I just started with me kind of watching it from there, kind of like, oh, well, what is this? When is it on? Is she on it?
Yeah.
So I started watching her and then started watching it and then kind of just started watching wrestling. Like I was the boy in my family. So I was the one making like my cousins and my brothers all watch it with me.
Awesome.
And then we would all just like wrestle after because we all thought we were like professional wrestlers. We broke a few windows. We've broken probably a few bones, but I definitely won. And if any of them say otherwise, don't believe them.
What was your living room finishing move?
I think honestly it was just a punch. I think it was always like when you had nothing else to do. I had what I called crazy fist, and it was just like swinging for the fences. And honestly, I think it would just catch everyone so off guard that it just always worked. But yeah, when I was with that or crazy feet. So if I'm also down just like Kung Fu Pandaing, it was definitely the move.
You ever thought about trying that out in a match? See how that works?
You know, I am not as fast these days as I once was as a child. I think if I tried to kick that fast, I would chafe so hard I'd start a forest fire. So you know, the fast movements I'll leave for the athletic ones out there who can
Yeah.
jump and stuff. I'll just pick people up and put them down. That's just it's so much better for your knees anyways. Like I've read it on a study once or twice. So and I have a master's degree, so you have to believe what I say automatically.
Yeah.
That's what they told me when I graduated. They said, "You're always right now. Enter the world." So
that's great. Yeah.
Wow.
I wish I had got my master's now.
Yeah.
I mean, you still can't. It's never too late. It's never too late.
That's true. Yeah, I don't think I could go back to school. But that's a different story for a different podcast for a different day. You mentioned Bad Bitch and Trish Stratus. Who is your Bad Bitch Mount Rushmore?
Like in general and wrestling.
Yeah, in general. Or you could do both. Whatever.
I'm gonna do wrestling because I feel like wrestling really was like the only women I was exposed to growing up.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really watch a lot of like other shows or anything. So obviously Trish Stratus is like number one, like the biggest head of all, honestly, like larger font size. And honestly, I'm also gonna say this. The fact, and I've said this to everyone I've ever spoken to, the fact that you can turn on Monday Night Raw like today and Trish Stratus can enter and people don't lose their mind and immediately fall to their knees and kiss the ground she walks on baffles me.
Yeah.
Beyond anything. Are you guys not understanding, or is everyone like pranking me? Because I just don't get it. And I have a friend who doesn't even watch wrestling, doesn't know anything about wrestling, but she's watched Trish Stratus, also fell in love with Trish Stratus, and Snapchats me every Monday Night Raw because she watches it for Trish Stratus and says, "These people are fucking idiots." And I'm like, babe, I get it. So Frank the Tank, if you're watching this, babe, I get it. So Trish Stratus is always up there. But like you can never take away anything from Lita either because they couldn't have done it without each other. It was just I vibed more with Trish because I'm also like kind of a puta, which is bitch in Spanish. So if you're watching at home, don't know, there you go. A word you can use on the streets. Be careful. So I love those two, but someone who is like lately, as in the few past years, I'm like, you know what? I think she's so underappreciated is Asuka. I think she's just insane. And the fact that she's like 40 something and out there like moving better than like these 20-year-old athletes they're signing, and like give her credit where credit's due.
Sure.
But then I think you also have to put Charlotte Flair up there. I mean, Charlotte's never been like my wrestler. I've never like had that connection, but it's one of those things that like you can respect someone even though they're like not your vibe.
Yeah.
And like she's just like, I think she pulls the best out of people. I don't think Rhea Ripley could be Rhea Ripley without Charlotte Flair. And not that she didn't have it in her, but I don't think anyone could have pulled it out of her the same way they did.
Yeah.
Especially like at the timing of when she did it, because it was way before, and we kind of had to see her rise again to see it again before she was really ready for it too. Like that's
exactly.
That's good.
So she's just amazing, and whether she stops today or tomorrow, she deserves everything she gets out of life. But I think those would be my four. And I'm also going to preface this by saying I do not know older wrestling. I started watching wrestling when Trish was wrestling, so I know Trish on.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there are like great wrestlers out there that I probably should be saying, and I'm not. And for that, also like I love Awesome Kong.
Yeah.
Loved her. And also Victoria. Victoria was a bad bitch, and she does not get enough credit for what she did. I remember watching her, and her thing would hit, and I'd be like, ooh, I'm emo for a second. And she'd go out there and just whoop people's asses, and that's a bad bitch too. So I love strong women. I think strong women are like the vibe I like, but yeah.
Victoria, when she went to TNA, just carried around a fucking spider.
First of all, you have to have good health insurance to do that, because like what if it just right at the throat?
Yeah, true.
You know, I don't know what to do with the who knows what to do with that. So like shout out to you, but I would never spiders.
Macho Man, I don't know if you're familiar because you said the old school, but so Jake the Snake used to have a snake. Of course, hence the name. He brought the snake to the ring one time and it fucking bit Macho Man Randy Savage.
I would have retired that day. That would have been my.
But you mentioned Trish Stratus, and what a coincidence, because we have actually a surprise for you. Oops.
I don't care what y'all say.
Trish, come on out, Trish. Trish Stratus is in the house, everybody. Everybody listening at home. Trish Stratus.
Oh,
the reason
it's like the best laugh. It's just like that iconic. When that hits, it's kind of, to me, honestly, it's kind of like when Edge's "You Think You Know Me" hits.
Yeah.
It's like that Trish Stratus laugh, and you're just like, immediately sucked
It's a
in.
lost art. The like entrance,
yeah,
like, opening is a lost thing.
Yeah. That.
Yeah.
I think bold statement. I think that is better than that.
100%.
Yep.
And if you don't like it, Stone Cold Steve Austin, sponsor me and I'll drink your beer on every single episode of anything I'm ever on. I even have ordered it and drank it. I spent my own money on it, so don't feel that bad about doing it.
Yeah. Is it good?
Yeah, I liked it. I've only tried the Broken Skull IPA, and I thought it was good. I mean, it was so expensive to order it, but I'm honestly, first of all, my first choice in drink is always free. So if it's free, it's for me. But honestly, I'm really just, it's just like, it depends on the beer, because I'll drink one thing one day, and then like the next day, I'm like, that's disgusting. I don't know how I drank that like 2 days ago. So it's always a surprise to all of us, including myself.
Like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hops.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. All right.
I thought that was pretty good. But wrestling.
wrestling podcast.
You start out with Trish Stratus. You're really into Trish Stratus. How long were you watching before you realized that you wanted to be a wrestler yourself?
So I think as a kid, like, everyone's like, oh, I want to be a wrestler. But I think growing up, like, I am not athletic. I was not like your athletic child. I was just chubby. I'd watch TV. I didn't like being outside. Like, I was just non-athletic. And I remember when I was younger, I did like a pageant. They were like, there will be a segment in this pageant where you have to say what you want to be. And I said, well, I'm going to say I want to be a wrestler. And they're like, no, that's like, honey, stop. You're ridiculous. Something more realistic. So I had to change my answer. So like really watching it growing up, I like never really thought of it as something I would do. I just was always like, I enjoy watching it. It was like my escape.
Yeah.
And then I kind of honestly stopped watching it though when I got to college. I think with life, you just get busy and you don't have cable, and like it just wasn't something I really watched. And then after I graduated, I kind of went through this like phase of like, what am I doing? Kind of like that directional, like, what's life about and what makes me happy? And I just started watching wrestling here or there again, and was like, you know, I kind of do miss this. And then I had a conversation with one of my workers, and she was like in college and telling me how she didn't know what to major in. And I was like, well, it was like what she wanted to major in versus what her parents wanted her to major in. And I was like, well, what do you want to do? Like, you have to do what makes you happy. Like, if you could be anything, what would you be? And she had said one of her degrees. And I was like, then that sounds like you have your answer. And then she's like, well, what would you have been if you could be anything in the world? I was like, a wrestler. And she's like, well, why don't you do it? And I was like, I felt so exposed. Like, she'd called me out. I was like, dang, did I just get shot? Like, it was just like, oh my God, you didn't have to call me out like that. But then I was like, man, she's right. I mean, I guess like why I can try it. Like, worst comes to worst, I said I tried it. So when I started training, I was 325 pounds. And you know, I signed up. I just Googled it. Honestly, I did not do much research at all picking a wrestling school. I just went, who did Google recommend? First thing to pop up was George South. And I was just like, this man is an entire vibe. So let's just go down this rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And then I saw he trained at High Spots, and I was like, you know what? Like, what do I have to lose? Like, if I go, and they had required you to go and like watch a session first before you would like sign up to do it. So I thought, like, what? There's no harm in like going to watch it. And I remember the first time I heard someone bump on the ring, and I was like, oh, I've made a grave mistake. I thought I was athletic, and then I saw people flipping, and again, I'm like out of breath walking in the building. And I was just like, this may not be it for me.
Yeah.
But then I was like, you know what? Don't be a puss, you know, or don't be a dick. I don't like saying puss because like that makes women sound like it's like a lesser thing. But like, you got this. You can do this. And I signed up and I tried. And I mean, there's still things to this day that are so rudimentary in wrestling that I cannot do because I'm so unathletic. But like we manage. We know our strengths, we know our weaknesses, and we stick to the strengths for the most part. Every once in a while I'll get wild, and then I'll be like, don't do that again. You got it that time, it was luck, don't push it.
What was the biggest weakness that is now kind of cool that it's a strength?
So I think it's more of one of those things that, like, when I have matches and I can wrestle longer than I could before. Like, I think when I first started, my first match was not long at all. I think it was a tag match as well. So, like, I wasn't even in the match for but a few minutes. And I remember getting to the back and being like, I can't breathe. Yeah. I don't, like, and even being in the ring being like, oh my God, like, I don't know if I can make it through this. And again, I'm wrestling maybe 4 minutes at that point for that match. Like, I was not in there very long. And then when I can wrestle now and have, you know, a 20, 30-minute match and be okay, like, obviously you're still dying, but, like, you can get through it and make it through it. I was like, that's, like, probably a good sign. And I recently wrestled, I had a triple threat with FSCW, which is, like, a cosplay wrestling, if you don't know what it is. And I Miss Trunchbull, the hottest bitch out there. And I wrestled Mike Bailey and a kid, I think his name's Trevor Reed. And if that's his, like, shoot name, I'm so sorry. I think that's famous. And we had a triple threat. And I remember when I saw I was wrestling Mike Bailey, I was just like, oh fuck. Like, it was one of those things. I was like, I go to the gym every day and I still was like, I've made a grave mistake here. Or whoever put this together did not think about this logically. And there's even a point, the match is online, it's on YouTube, go watch it. But there's literally a point in the match, like, I start getting undressed in the match because I am, like, overheating and I am not breathing at a normal pace. And I remember being in that and being like, oh brother, I might just need to roll out here. But I made it through and I got to the back and I had one of those moments where I realized, like, man, I just had a match with Mike Bailey who, like, I mean, wasn't even breathing heavy afterwards. I mean, it still was like a slap in the face, but
he's a machine. That's not even
he's not human. He's one of the aliens that they found. Like, I'm 100% sure of it because he's just unhuman and it's unnatural. But I was trying to be back there, like, I wouldn't have been able to do that when I first started. Like, there was no chance. Or, like, I would have just, like, I would not even, like, gone through, like, my entrance, probably. So, I think when I have those moments where I have those matches where, like, afterwards, I'm like, man, I did something I probably couldn't have done before. And, like, I'm so much more capable than I could before. Those are, like, those cool moments for me.
Awesome. That's a great question, Christian. Great answer. Sidebar story.
It might be because of the C in my name. Hate to say it.
No, this is an anti-C.
No, I was have to actually hang up. Like,
I have no C's in my name at all, so I'm good.
Oh, I do.
Wow. But this mug blood over here. Is that okay to say? It's Harry Potter.
It's a muggle.
Poor taste.
Muggle. I should have said muggle. I'm sorry. But I was at the last AML show, and Billy Brash was talking about his match with Speedball, and he said he calls every single part of the match. And he said, like, it was, I don't know if he was the same way for that match, but he's like, all right, we'll take like a 2-minute break here in case we're blown out. And Billy Brash was like, I'm blown out, and you're just explaining the match to me. So, well,
if wrestling was fake and we called it beforehand or if anything ridiculous like that happened, first of all, Billy Brash is amazing, and if you guys are booking, you guys should book him. I think he's awesome sauce. I don't think he gets used enough or pushed enough, and he should. So I'm just throwing that out there, bookers. Book me first, but book him second. But I was actually at that show, and I remember first of all watching it and being like, holy crap, that was such a fucking good match. But then I remember, and again, this was after my match with Mike Bailey, so I saw Mike Bailey at the bar before. I was like, beat his ass. And so, like, I'm fully taking credit for, like, the ass whipping he received. But then I remember, I think I had hung out, we had all gone to the bar after with, like, a Beer City Bruiser and stuff, and I remember he was talking about his match, and he was just, like, saying, like, how, like, there was just so much going on, everything was called. I was like, my match wasn't really like that at all. I said some ideas. He was like, good, yeah. And then we just went, okay, great. And I was like, I mean, it's definitely just in general, I think when you have, like, so many moving parts and everything, like mine again was a triple threat, so, like, I had a lot more going on. But I'm not gonna remember it. So let's not do that many with me. But no, when I was with him, I was worried about him being like, you're an idiot. But he was just like, no, perfect. Yeah, I like that. Cool. Sure. Perfect. I was like, well, this went so well. I have nothing left to say, and now we're just awkwardly staring at each other. So what's up?
90%.
So yeah, no, it's a lot, but it's like good stuff, and it's also just like everything just feels natural when you're in the ring with someone who like. I generally say when you're someone who like is in the ring with someone who likes what they're doing and knows what they're doing, it's everything. Just the movements are so much more fluid and natural that like a lot of it just felt where it needed to be for stuff, you know. So that's just a fun part of wrestling Mike Bailey. It just felt right.
Yeah.
And everything just moves beautifully. But I still beat him. So bookers, I've beaten Mike Bailey. Book me.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Go back a little bit. You mentioned the character and personality and a whole vibe that is George South. What was your first impression of George South?
So I'm not from the South at all. I'm from Connecticut. Not the rich part, the hood. So let's clarify that for anybody watching at home. So like I'm not still, even though I went to school in the South, I'm not really used to like the real Southerners. So when I met George South and just the things he says, his little like phrases, the things he calls people and his accent, it's just like such something I've never seen in my entire life. I don't think I'll ever see again. But he's just, it's like can't even explain it. There's not a word for it. He's just like his own. George South is just George South. Yeah. He's just a whole vibe all the time. And the accent is great. People love him. He will sell some damn merch. Let me say that. That man is a businessman.
Yeah.
And if you haven't bought a mystery box, you're missing out.
Nothing is off limits for him too. It's like exclusively not George South merch. It's just everything he can find.
At the last AML jersey, he had like a I don't even know what it was, but a hockey jersey, an LA Kings hockey jersey up for sale. Like
maybe it was his, you know.
Yeah, George South. I think over this podcast we've gotten to like so many people that have like had the opportunity to like work with him or be trained by him, and it's just like the stories that you hear of just like how like cool of a guy he is, but also like just how George South he is. Like, can you confirm that he talks about Jessica Simpson a lot?
Oh my God, I was just about to say that. So he said, I probably should say, he loves Jessica Simpson. If you're watching this, George South would risk it all for you. I'm just throwing that out there. But he'd be like, oh my God, Fru. Oh my God, you're telling me Jessica Simpson was right in front of me. I'd bump like that. Oh my God, I would never bump like that from Jessica Simpson. Oh my God, that's my wife. That's my wife. Oh my God. So he loves Jessica Simpson. And he makes sure everyone knows about it. He also loves to be tan, and he calls people fruits, and it's the funniest thing to me. So, oh my God, fruit. It's just so good. And the accent, obviously, is just so him that, like, when you hear it, you're like, that's George. Yeah. That's George South right there.
Yeah, George South.
Have you ever witnessed his business dealings inside a Bojangles? Can you confirm?
I signed up for wrestling school in a Bojangles. We met at the
I love that he's consistent.
Charlotte Motor Speedway on Concord Smith Boulevard. And he was just there. I think he had a Bowberry biscuit, maybe it was, and a sweet tea. And he was just sitting there, oh, Bobby, please, come on, Bobby, come take a seat with me right here. George, you want anything, baby? Oh, no, okay, baby, come on, sit right here, baby. Come, tell me why you want to wrestle, baby. Come on, talk to George right here. Yeah, no, I met George at a Bojangles, so for Recto Mundo.
Those are two things that we've like to confirm, but they're almost always true. Jessica Simpson's not as popular. We've had a hard time confirming that.
He also loves Wendy's, so like, don't think he's exclusively Bojangles, because he would always say after training for us to hurry the hell up so he could get to Wendy's before they close. So, ask about if you're really trained by George South, you would also know about Wendy's. So that's how you can spot
a lot of posers out there.
Yeah. If they say the only answer is Bojangles, kick him out.
What is George South's second favorite fast food restaurant?
Where did George South go after training, huh?
That's awesome. Yeah, George South. Wild dude.
Book George South too. Why not?
Yeah.
Book us all. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
It's really easy.
What a carload.
It's not hard. Yeah, everybody.
Yeah. Billy Brash, Kaitlyn Marie.
Billy Brash, Kaitlyn Marie, George South.
What a carload.
What about Zenith?
Zenith, 100%. Me.
Yeah.
We got me. You have TDT, who you would think is the muscle. You know, you have JR, who's obviously the looks.
Yeah.
You got Benny or Ben Grayson. I probably just exposed you. Sorry, Benny baby. Who's our brains. And I'm honestly just everything combined into one. So I'm like that perfect little mixture. But I'm definitely more than anything the mouth. Because I can talk it. But I can also walk it. So that's why I can talk trash. Because like, who's going to stop me? Yeah. But no, my Zenith boys are great. I hate them most of the time. Honestly, car rides with them can get super annoying. And JR Miller's an awful driver. So if you value your life, drive yourself. But they're my friends and I want them to get booked too. So I guess they're great. Also booked, I'm just gonna throw another name out there while we're just putting people over. Zane Riley. I love Zane Riley. He's my best friend on the entire planet. And he deserves to get booked if he wants to. I honestly don't even know if he's wrestling anymore. He's like hit or miss every day. Yeah. I mean, he is like 100 years old. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's already like in a casket. But like, brother, miss you. Hope you're great. But yeah, book Zane Riley too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So going back to Zenith real quick, and we love Zane Riley. We love him.
Yeah.
From the show, all the things.
He put you guys over heavy too. He's like, you gotta do it. And I was like,
awesome.
okay. If Zane Riley says I gotta do it, right?
Yeah.
Love to hear that. So Zenith, can you talk us through how that came together?
Yeah, so they kind of were already a group without me. So it was, I think, Benny and TDT were technically the first two. And then JR Miller was added on later. And I think at the time, they didn't think I was wrestling because I guess I just wasn't wrestling enough. So they just had never really reached out, but I guess kind of thought of adding a female talent. And then one day, I don't remember who messaged me. It really could have been any of them. And was just like, hey, would you ever be like interested in doing some stuff with us? And I was just like, I don't like others, so it probably wouldn't be the greatest idea. And I usually don't get along with everyone. I'm a very picky person with my energies. And I was like, yeah, I mean, we can try somewhere and see how it goes. And we like came out together and it was just such a natural fit. Like we all just play off of each other so well. And just like, we don't need to talk when we're in the ring. We can just feel each other's thing and just look at each other and immediately know what we're saying. But it's also just, they're great also outside of wrestling. Like we're so like, we're on top of each other. Like, did you, put over your show? Have you been going to the gym? What's going on with you mentally? Are you good, bro? You're acting kind of funky. We all like call each other out, but we're there for each other. We try to get each other on, shows we're on. So it's really like a cool thing to have like this brotherhood of like guys I can just like ride to shows with because they always drive, and that's like prayers. So no, they're all great individually, but I think collectively we all like I think kind of pick up what each other lacks.
Yeah.
So it kind of like it's like that perfect blend of just like it doesn't make sense on paper because we like are so completely different, all of us, but when you put us together, it's just like the most awkward family, but you're kind of like, I get it.
Yeah.
It makes sense, technically speaking.
Definitely makes sense. And I must say that Fuji shirt that Fuji's design.
Oh, yeah, that's
fire.
awesome.
That's all TDT. I'll give him all and Chris Downey photos. If you need a photographer, book him.
Yeah.
He is so great. He honestly, him and Quentin Jordan, I'll put them both over because I hate pictures. It's like one of probably my least favorite parts of wrestling. Like I know you need them, but I hate pictures. I'm so awkward. And they both are so good about making you comfortable and like making you feel good in front of pictures. But that specific design, it was TDT and Chris Downey kind of worked on that one together. And I mean, it was fire. It was a great shirt. when it comes out. If you haven't ordered yours, order it now. Hit up JR Miller because I don't want to handle that. Hit him up, bother him with the hassle. Make him do some damn work for once.
Yeah. I think we're having everybody out. Like we have TDT and JR.
Yeah. They were telling me, I was like, I'm first. And I was like, as I should be, guys. As I should be. I'm going to introduce you to people who know who you are behind me. Just kidding. They're all great. Everyone knows them. But no, we trash talk each other all the time, which is so much fun too. So it's fun to have people you can kind of
So you should
be stressed with.
You should talk JR. He said he can't drive. What's one of TDT's flaws?
It's not a flaw. It's just something really weird he does that I've like. We all say, first of all, he always is in like a sweatshirt or a jacket, regardless of how hot it is.
That's a big.
So like we were recently at a show, and like he had a windbreaker on, and I mean it had to have been 100 degrees, and I've never and he's not like profusely sweating or anything, so it's not like he's.
This is just comfortable
overheating.
For him.
It's just normal for him, and I'm just like that. Sounds like you should see a medical professional. Like I think you're not like your sweat glands don't work, and that's not healthy. But he also has a thing. He likes wearing his gear to shows, and I've never understood that. And I know a lot of guys that do that, so it's not like it's weird in that sense. But if I had to wear what I wear in the ring to shows. Even if I had something over it with 14 layers of spandex and stockings and leggings and ties and I could never. So I don't know how he does it. Just like I don't know how he wears sweatshirts in the summer. But it's weird, and I judge him for it all the time.
Might be able to.
And he has a lot of kids. Okay, and I hate children. And if he could just stop having kids, I'd appreciate it because I'm hard of remembering. There's so many names. And he's a great dad. We love that for him, but just you don't need to keep having them.
I can't wait to ask him like, we have heard from a reliable source that you have too many kids. What are your thoughts on that?
Too many damn kids. And he'll immediately start laughing. We literally constantly bust his balls about getting a vasectomy. Like I've offered to drive him, give the consultation. I'll even hold his hand or his hair, whatever he prefers. We're gonna get through this together, but just you have enough. One is too many. You have more than one, so you've already like passed your allotment for the month or the year or your lifetime. Stop with kids. And if you guys have kids, I'm sorry, but
no, not yet.
And you've heard it here first. Per Kaitlyn Marie, one kid. That's your quota. You're done. You're done.
Stop. Why do you need more than one? That one didn't make you regret it enough. You hate them. Stop. You love them, but you also regret them. Everybody does. Okay, go ahead.
I was just about to say my wife is pregnant right now with our first kid, so we haven't crossed that line yet. It's fine. It's it's totally fine.
But that's your one. No, you're allowed the one. So no, that's perfect. You're hit your allotment. But after that,
you're gonna love that kid, dude. You're gonna love that kid.
You're gonna love it. I mean, every night when it's screaming its head off and you're contemplating whether you even love each other because you hate that kid so much, you're going to remember this podcast where I told you one and done, and you're going to immediately schedule your vasectomy.
I'm just going to receive a text in the middle of the night. She was right.
It's not going to be like, who is it? He's going to immediately know, she was
I've been waiting for this message.
Waiting for her.
Fuck were we?
Guys, I'm sorry. I should warn you. I also get off track.
We were putting
Zenith.
Zenith, yes.
Baby, TT has too many kids, so bust his balls about that.
Yeah.
We're back on it. We're back. We bring it back. Also, if you're going to make fun of someone else for something, if you need more material, JR Miller uses filters on pictures. Too much.
Too much?
Too heavily. Too many. We get it. You're pretty. Okay, we got it the 1,000 times you've posted yourself. Stop with the filter. If you're at the gym, you don't need a filter. Just walk it off. Just walk it off. Just it's Snapchat too. Who needs filters on Snapchat? It's for your friends. They don't care. They know you're ugly in person.
Only if you're trying too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. The ladies love you already. You don't need to do all that.
We have some great things to talk about on our reviews. I might just play these clips for them.
You should just be roasting them the whole time. And it's just
this is literally like our favorite thing. We love I'm a
the petty side of wrestling is why we're really here.
Yeah. I fucking love the tea. I love gossip. Like I get it from my Southern mother and my Southern grandmother. Like I am a gossipy little bitch, so this is great for me.
Love that. No,
I would love a
that.
podcast where we could just talk shit about people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and it's even funner to talk more shit about your friends and other people you actually don't like, because then you're like, oh, they're gonna be, and they, even if they expose me later, I already got them first, so I've already won. I've already, at this point, they're crazy fisting back, but I've already won. I've already won this battle, so I feel good about it.
That's awesome.
All right, I have a question.
Yeah,
is that okay?
Okay.
Daniel?
Yeah.
Okay, what is your craziest story that you wrestling story that you have told friends outside of wrestling? That was just like probably hard for them to wrap their brains around.
So I think in general, so people just think it's weird I wrestle in general, and I say that they're always like, skirt, what'd you just say? When I say I wrestle men, blows their mind. But when I show them the men I wrestle, it really worries them. I remember one match I have. So I've lost weight. I'm still a thick girl, but I'm not very tall. I'm very short and stumpy, oompa loompa-y. So I'm 5'6" on a good day. And I had a match with, I don't know if you guys know him, and if you don't, you should have him on because he's great. Ryan Gallione, who is like a tower of a human being.
Sorry, is that the bald guy with the beard?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
yes,
yeah.
That's like 40% of wrestling, Daniel.
Yeah, but we were right
Mark
here.
James.
But we were right here because there's no T in his name, so I knew what he was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's massive. I don't think he's 7 feet tall, but he's definitely, up there. And there's a literal picture, and it's like me versus him, and it's like this is me, and then this is him. Like, it's just the height difference. Like, the ropes are literally like here on me, and he has like a whole, it's at his waist. So when I show people me wrestling guys and me being able to pick them up and like slam them and stuff, they're always like, there is no way that you do that and are walking.
Is that a little bit of like an ego boost amongst your friends? To just be like, I'm pretty fucking cool.
I mean, I already know I'm like the coolest, funniest one, so like you don't really need it. But yeah, like it's one of those things when it's like it's not even like it's just like when people say, "What's your icebreaker? What's your fun fact?" Like you always have that trump card when everybody else can say something, and you're just like, "I'm a professional wrestler," and they're just like, "Oh my god." Who's this person?
We have 100 questions right now.
We want to know everything. Yeah, everybody's just like, what'd you just say? So people it's usually more surprised, and then it's also like, oh, that's so cool. And then you'll like show them like clips or something I'll have, and it's like, especially when I have like matches with weapons, like me I had a match where I got slammed in a ladder by Jack, all caps, JAC. That's another thing. I don't know why people talk in all caps. It's weird, but like, live your life, brother. Live your life.
Yeah, he's got to see his name. So does it really surprise you?
No, like what a weirdo. And he spelled Jack with a C. So I mean, like, what? So he slammed me on a ladder, and I've showed that to people. And first of all, I still feel that's on my back to this day. When I show people that, there's like, is that like a real ladder? And I'm like, I mean, my back really hurts, so I'm gonna go with yes. So things like that too, just always people are so surprised by like, you don't look like someone who would allow that to happen.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I just had a thought of like, if I worked at Home Depot, everybody that bought a ladder, I'd be like, is that for wrestling or is that for?
Yeah. What are you?
It would be the influx of door purchases
in
the last 2 years.
Hey, I noticed you've bought some tables, ladders, and chairs. I thought so, buddy. Yeah, I can get you right here for. Yeah, no, it's also like when you're like someone having one of those like matches. Like I've never had to find my own weapons, but it's also like I wouldn't even quite know where to start to look for them if I had to. Like
how that works.
Yeah.
Like, is it just guys being like, I want a table spot, so he goes and buys a table?
I am the table. Are you telling me the 2 chairs and the door's cheaper? It's 2 chairs and a door. We're not doing the table anymore.
So, according to a source that I have in the industry, it's about $50 for a door. It's about About $150 for one of those tables.
I'll
Right?
just break my leg at this point. My
For what?
God.
Yeah. That's why
It's also like,
promoters.
why?
There's no way some of these guys are making money.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's also like they're probably going to like a Goodwill and like, do you guys have doors in the back you don't give a fuck about? Or somebody's like, does anybody work in an apartment complex and have some shit they're trying to get rid
Oh
of?
man.
Yeah, I mean,
That'd
at
be
this
the
point, just
best
make weapons
pitch.
matches. Just bring something. Like, I have a mannequin. That's my weapon. I'll
Okay.
bring her. Like, just bring something strange to a match. The best fight scene is I don't know if you guys watch horror movies. I love horror movies, but Halloween, where everybody's just jumping Michael Myers, and like one lady has like an iron that's not even plugged in. So, like, what are you gonna do with that? And it's just like everybody says a random weapon they obviously just grabbed out of their car. That's how wrestling
there's like
makes
20 of
matches.
them, and they're just jumping the hell out of him. If it makes you feel better, Daniel, they didn't make it out okay. Like,
I'm a big baby when it comes to scary movies. I had nightmares from Scary Movie 3. Like I was a youth at the time. I was in elementary school, but I watched Scary Movie 3 like this close to the TV. I was like right here, and then like afterwards, I was like, I can't leave the house. Like,
and just to reiterate to anyone who isn't familiar with Scary Movie
comedy.
is a parody franchise making fun of scary movies.
But so she still crawls out of the TV. Okay, I have a TV.
Oh, babe. Oh no, it explains a lot though. It's probably why you have a kid, is because you're scared of scary movies.
Yeah,
those are the people who have kids. Because if you knew true horror, you would know that one.
Children scared me.
The laughter of children,
creepy kids,
is the scariest noise ever. Like if I'm ever walking down a hallway and I hear children laughing, I'm booking it. Like we're not even looking back to see who Bill or Bob is trying to catch me. Because if you get got by a child, how do you live that down?
You don't.
Like when you're in the afterlife, you're like, "What's up?" They're like, "Bro, you got beat up by little Jimmy. Go over there. Don't talk to us." Like,
do you think in the afterlife there's like a "What are you in for?" situation question?
Yeah, like
I got jumped by a haunted kid.
Yeah, I literally was eaten by a shark. No big deal. Like, how do you like? I'm boring. Just had an old heart attack. Yeah, nothing crazy. Just
got attacked by a T-ball team.
Yeah. There were a bunch of people with irons and random kitchen appliances beating me up outside on the street. That's how they got me.
Would he kill me with a ninja blender?
Yeah.
All right, Daniel. Ask that quality Daniel vintage question.
Yeah, we like to wrap things up with a question that is poignant, is thoughtful.
Okay.
We've kind of already done this, but who are some wrestlers do you think that more people should go out of their way not to see?
Not
see.
Yeah. We're burying people.
Oh, I've learned from professionals to not bury people. I will just put this disclaimer out. I think I love women's wrestling. I love it. You know, it's what I do. And I think women's wrestling you need help. And you should have women's matches on your card. But don't just book women just to book a woman. Watch these women. Check out their tapes. Make sure they've actually trained a single day in their life before you put someone else's life in their hands. That is what I'll say. Promoters, check them out. Who cares if they're good? They look good in a bikini. Have them do something that's not fighting. Then, if they're not trained, there's plenty of places to put them. Don't put them across from me.
So let's flip that coin over. Yeah. Now, who are wrestlers that more people should know, that should be on shows, other than ones you've already mentioned?
I don't already put everybody over. Yeah. Well, I have my tag partner, Sammy Chaos. Book us together. We're fun. We're very entertaining. And if nothing else, people will have a good time. You know, even if things go wild, it'll be a good time.
Yeah.
I also love the Woad. I saw she was just being used at NWA for that tournament thing. I think she should be more places. I find her. I think I definitely am the better wrestler. And I think any match we've ever had where she's beaten me is purely by accident. If it's ever happened, don't look it up. but I think she's great. I think she's someone who could be used in more locker rooms. I think Su Yung also, if you're trying to build your women's division and you want to have a woman who can lead women, Su Yung, your Savannah Evans, those kind of people, bring them in to help your younger talent. Use better talent to help other talent. Stop putting people who can't wrestle together and then putting your good people together. Because then it just exposes that people who can't wrestle. Make it make sense. Help each other. Wrestling is about building. The better they are, the better your matches will be. You're building your roster.
Reach.
Do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the Woad. I hope she gets more opportunities. I mean, I guess she's kind of over, but like, you know, I think she could always be used more. I'm just trying to think. I think Andrew Everett, the fact that he's not signed is
crazy.
mine. Him and Lucky Ali. The fact that either of those two are not signed to me is like the wildest thing in my brain.
Yeah.
Because I think they're both just like incredible. Yeah, just like when I watch their matches, it's things that I'll see that I'll be like, I don't think my brain would have ever, well, first my knees would have never, but my brain would also have never put that together. I could have never even thought to do that. I'm built different and not in a good way. So like people like them, the fact the movie Mike's, TJ Moss is another really good one. I love watching him wrestle. I'm trying to think of local to North Carolina and try to get my people over. Oh man, I'm really drawing blanks now that I've thought about too many names at once. But yeah, all those people. Zenith, Mia, I'm currently injured, but I'll be back mid-September, so book me.
Yeah.
You know, this is thankfully not too bad of an injury, hopefully. So we'll be back soon. So book me more than any of these other people, obviously, but like you can also book them as well. But yeah, those are some of the people I think, you know, they just need. Again, the people I said earlier too, the Billy Brashes, put them on. They're fun. What do you have to lose? They're fun. They're great.
I dare you.
I dare. Are you scared? Are you too scared to book that talent? I thought so. Your mom is. Those kids who bullied you were right growing up.
Shut the fuck up, Caitlyn, and book Billy Brash.
A failure, Caitlyn, with a C, you bitch. Book Billy Brash. Yeah. But Caitlyn,
that's gonna be a great clip.
Book him.
That's gonna be a great clip.
Yeah, that's gonna be the video. They were like, "Oh, shit talking everybody. Who the fuck?"
And this is how we get Billy Brash on the podcast.
Yeah, there you go. I set it up. Yeah. Oh, and also Billy Brash's partner, Josh Cutshaw. I love wrestling Josh Cutshaw. We have had probably one of the funnest matches. Probably cutting off on a tangent. I'm sorry. We've had one of my favorite matches in my entire career with Josh Cutshaw, where our match was me speed dating all his personalities. And then I end up beating him with a kiss and then say, I don't date losers. And I left with the ref, who I made out with directly after. I love refs. Apparently it's my thing. So refs out there, get me booked because then we can make out. There you go.
Yeah.
Wrestling is the best.
Wrestling's so much more fun when you're having fun. You know what I mean?
For sure. And I'm going to put out a challenge to all the fans out there. Bring Kaitlyn Marie beer.
Yeah, do it, guys.
But like closed beforehand if it's in like a can. Like don't spike it. Don't be a piece of shit.
Yeah, don't be a piece of shit.
But
I'm sure it's cold.
Free. I'll drink it. Yeah. And if you bring me cans that are cold before my match, I'll open that after. And I'll come right and sit on your lap and drink it. That is a promise. That free, babe. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Awesome.
Well, this was Live Laugh Lariat.
Yeah, this is a wild show, guys. I'm telling you, we're gonna have millions of followers after this. This is gonna be wild.
Fantastic.
This has been so much fun. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. We didn't talk about much, so we definitely need to have you back on at some point to talk about. Yeah,
part 2. The only wrestler who has a part 2 is Caitlyn part 1 and part 2. Sorry.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I don't know if you can hear my dog, but he's just barking.
I do, and I love dogs.
Yeah, he's doesn't like me doing interviews. But this has been great. Thank you so much. We'd love to have you back on. Buy her t-shirts, bring her beer, and book her and all of her friends. You guys heard it here first.
I know.